So this trailer came out a few hours ago as of this recording, and I didn't even notice it. And that's already kind of a warning sign as to what what that probably means for this movie on a whole. Because there was very little fanfare, and this movie comes out in like less than 30 days. And that trailer is, of course, the new trailer for I Know What You Did Last Summer. A movie I'm just kind of going to see because it's kind of nice to see horror slashers be vogue again. So I do like. I'm curious. Even though the I Know What You Did Last Summer franchise has never really big on my radar. It's never really been a big thing, but I do enjoy it because it's just nice to see like these classic slashers come back, even the more obscure ones. And it's kind of interesting that we're seeing like this renovation of horror, like the new sequel to Final Destination. There's also 28 years later, the third movie in the 28 Days saga that's coming out this week, and then next month, I Know What You Did. So I just am really excited to see all of it. I'm just excited, even though I feel like this movie's not going to be great. But I feel like at the same time I'm going to have a good time. And hey, also the other thing you have to understand is this movie is coming out in the same. Let's talk about the movies it's going to compete with the month of July. Jurassic World Rebirth, Superman, and there it is in between. I Know movie is in between, and then it's Fantastic Four. This movie's not. So what we have here is I Know What You Did Super Jurassic Summer. I'll workshop it. Anyway, so we got that. So yeah, that I don't think that I Know What You Did Last Summer is exactly going to be a box office smash. I think it'll do well. I will say that. I do think this movie will do well enough to get its money back, but I don't think it's going to be able to I don't think it's going to be breaking box office records, in comparison to like Superman and then Fantastic Four following that as well. I think this movie will do enough to get its budget back and then some. But yeah. Anyway, so the movie basically follows a group of Abercrombie and Finch models who have killed someone in the similar vein that the Freddie Prinze Jr.'s character and everyone else, they did in the same way, and they just hid it. But now at a wedding, they've now been told, I Know What You Did Last Summer, and the killings start. Gotta be honest, it is kind of like the fisherman design. I've always dug it. Even though I was never a really big fan of these movies, I always thought that the fisherman getup was always cool. I always thought it was like a cool, solid design for a slasher, and I always like I like that the hook's the weapon, and we've now got a harpoon gun, which that made me go, okay, I like that. And yes, I did see it. I do remember seeing it in the original trailer, but yeah, I do like seeing it, and every time I think of it, like seeing the harpoon gun and then pulling the guy forward, it's like, get over here! That's all I can think. I also really like that this movie is coming out in summer, and you may be thinking, why do you like the idea of a summer horror movie? Like, that doesn't make any sense, Multi. I like it because this movie franchise has always been a summer film. It's all like the I Know What You Did movies have always been like summer movies. That's always what they've been, kind of been from the get-go, is that they are meant to really encapsulate that kind of summer vibe, like the whole town of Seaport, everything, the vibe of it all. It's all meant to give you, even in the original book, which, by the way, yeah, even I sometimes forget that I Know What You Did Last Summer is from a book. Like, it came from a book, and the book's totally different from the movie. That one's more of a psychological story and deep and more about character development and things like that and guilt. Even the writer of that book, who saw the movie, was disgusted by it because she had lost family. That book was her writing her feelings after one of her members of her family were killed in a similar fashion. So, I understand. So, yeah. But the whole point of, like, what I'm trying to mean is that, and yeah, that does suck. what I mean by that is, even in the book, the original book, it's clearly meant to be like, the summer vibe. So I'm glad it's coming out in July. Like, I just wish it wasn't so stacked this year. That's kind of my big thing, is that this movie is clearly like stacked. Like, this movie's got some high competition. Now, what I also am wondering is, like, I'm really hoping it's not Ben. I'm hoping the killer isn't Ben or Willis Benson. Oh god, that was so fucking stupid in the sequel. That whole second movie's unhinged. But I hope it's not Ben, or like a Ghost Rider Ben like they had in the third movie. Yeah, there was a third movie where it's the ghost of Ben going out and killing these kids for no fucking reason. Made no goddamn sense then. It don't make no goddamn sense now. I will say who I think the killer is right off the bat, and this is just kind of like my little tinfoil hat theory. I think it's Freddie Prinze Jr. I think it's him, because maybe he saw it and is like, these kids are like covering up a murder like he did, and now he's punishing them for their sins, and it's like punishing himself. Like, wouldn't that make them wouldn't that be so cool? Like, yeah, I'm seeing a history repeat itself, and I'm not going to let you get away with it like I thought I could. I'm not, the guilt eats you alive, and it just kind of suffocates you. So I think that would be a cool idea to play with, honestly. Like, do something of that regard with the character. I could be totally wrong, and I also want, Jesus, this is another thing, and why I think it's Freddie Prinze Jr.'s character right now is because I really want it to be out of left field. I don't want to predict the killer. I've had that problem I've said this before multiple times with modern slasher movies, like Scream 5 and 6, and then Hard Eyes. And, the only one that really got me, but then I realized it's probably you. The only one where I feel like I couldn't guess the killer right out the gate, and it made me, but I did have the suspicion it was them of the same. I was just like, could be you, might not be, but I wouldn't be shocked if it was Thanksgiving's reveal of the killer. So, yeah. So what I'm saying is, I don't want it to be basically telegraphed. Hey, this is the killer. Go check that out. Like, yeah, you're just it doesn't matter. I already know who the killer is. It's my problem with Hard Eyes, Scream 5 and 6, and a few other modern day slasher movies where I'm just kind of like, I already know. Why do we have to keep this in? So please, I know what you did last summer. Make it interesting and make it a viable mystery. Please, for the love of God. That is all I ask. I'll be out there to support this movie, but it doesn't look like anyone's going to, like I said, this trailer came out a few hours ago, and I just caught wind of it, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't realize we were doing a new trailer for it, which is funny because I did mention, hey, a few videos ago, hey, I haven't seen a new trailer yet for I Know What You Did Last Summer, and that's coming out in July. So it's almost like someone heard at the trailer editing department, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, was like, oh shit, put that out, we forgot to do that. Anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below, are you guys excited for I Know What You Did Last Summer's requel? Who do you think the killer will be? Are you hoping it'll be something random? And also, the other thing I like is that the director, she said that this movie is not to be taken seriously. So, I'll go, if there's anything like completely wild and stupid, I mean, I Know What You Did Last Summer is wild and stupid as well, so I can accept if this movie's going to be kind of dumb. And, yeah. Anyway, so there you go, guys. Just comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.